what your favorite legend says about you. So the main reason I'm doing this is because I saw Cassidy's video about this, and it was really just saying,
first off, you're probably attracted to her, which is pretty weird.
That doesn't really make sense to me. It's kind of weird that you would say that somebody's weirdly attracted to a Brawlhalla character. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing my own. And on top of that, there's been a lot of new brawlers since the last video of this was out. So Ada, if you main Ada, you were definitely spamming her blaster signatures at some point in your life. You were definitely spamming those a lot. But now you've evolved and you've actually learned that she has a spear and you can use her spear. And you probably are better with the spear than you are with blasters now. Next up, we got Arcadia. Arcadia mains scare me because people don't expect anyone to actually main Arcadia. So if there's a legend that you don't expect people to main, those mains are always going to be insane because they're against the odds. Mordex mains are more often trash than Arcadia mains will be because nobody really mains Arcadia. And if you do, you know how to use her perfectly. Mordex mains are just followers. Next up, we got Artemis. This is your favorite. This, I don't know if it is now, but this was you a while ago. This was something that you were always doing. And you just looked horrible while doing it. But now you've moved on and you started trying to be a scythe follower. Next up, we got Asuri. Asuri mains are always trying to hit the neutral on her katars off stage. It's their favorite thing to do, for sure. Next up, we got Azoth. I don't really see Azoth mains too often, but they're always the craziest axe mains that I've ever seen in my life. They don't really know how to use bow that well, but they be going crazy with axe whenever they pick up the axe. When they pick up the bow, I got an advantage. Next up, we got Barraza. Barraza mains always be trying to do the little neutral on the axe every chance they get, because it is satisfying to hit, I will admit. Y'all just try and be doing that every single second of the day. Next up, we got Brynn. Brynn mains, I feel like, aren't actually good at the game. They kind of need a brawler with easy to hit signatures. She's nice and cheap. Everybody really has her. And they kind of just need an easy little brawler that doesn't require much effort or skill to actually use. Because they aren't that crazy. If they pick up anybody else, they're gonna suck for sure. Next up, we got Bodvar. Bodvar mains are probably the chillest mains out of any other brawler. You got hammer, sword, first legend. Yeah, they're definitely chill. So we got Caspian. Caspian mains are crazy with katars, but when they pick up gauntlets to make up for their lack of actual gauntlet skill, they're just gonna go ahead and use this every opportunity they get. Next up, we got Cassidy. Now, I'm not sure why they gave her 4 signatures on her hammer now. 2, 3, 4. She has 4 signatures on her hammer. So you definitely be abusing that. You're crazier with her hammer than you are with her blasters. I hate Cassidy mains for sure. Next up, we got Cross. I don't really see Cross mains too much, but they're definitely the craziest blasters mains out of any other legend, I feel. Like, they use gauntlets, but I just feel like they'd be much crazier with the blasters than other legends. Next up, we got Diana. Now, Diana mains, they think they're good at the game for doing this. Like, they think they're sweats for doing that. At some point, y'all thought y'all were sweaty for doing that. I don't know if it's y'all now. Y'all probably are Valhallan or something now. But y'all probably thought y'all were sweaty for doing that signature. You really weren't. Next up, we got Dusk. If you main Dusk, you probably think that Dusk is super underrated and nobody plays him. But I see Dusk mains a decent amount because he's an overrated, underrated brawler. I don't know if that makes sense, but so many people think he's underrated to the point where he isn't underrated anymore. I mean, he does require some skill to use. I like Dusk because I like his spear a lot, but yeah, that's basically it. Oh no, I like his orb. Next up, we got Ember. Now, Ember mains definitely were doing this often. Like, I know we're all probably getting sick of me just saying people were spammers, but Ember is 900 coins and people probably got her as one of their first brawlers. And when you started playing the game, you were spamming this wolf every opportunity you get. Now, as you play the game, you probably don't really use that often. You probably are a little bit crazier with the katars. Ezio mains are good at the game. They're insane at the game. They're always going to be insane at the game. I rarely encounter a bad Ezio main. Ever. Next up, we got Fait. Fait mains are trying to be different. Like they're scythe mains, they're generic scythe mains, but they trying to be different, bro. They don't want to just use a generic brawler, so they just use like some random scythe brawler that's moderately cool, so they could just be different. I'm not really intimidated by Fait mains. The same with Gnash mains. Now they're not trying to be different. They just trying to like. They think Gnash is like super underrated. I feel like every Gnash main feels like he's just super underrated. Nobody plays him. He needs more justice. He needs more skins or whatever. Like Gnash is honestly a pretty boring character to use. I like Hammer and I like Spear, and I don't really use Gnash that often because I just feel like he's kind of boring to use. This is his most fun signature to use. Hitting this off stage is fun. Everything else is just kind of like yay. Like he just seems pretty boring to use. Hattori mains think they're sweaty, but honestly, I don't really think Hattori mains are that sweaty. Hattoris are usually the brawlers or the legends, sorry, that were always doing this when they started playing the game. And they love using that D-Sig on the spear. Next up, we got Imugi. You probably don't think Imugi's that broken, honestly, but everybody disagrees with you. You probably think he's pretty balanced, but like Brynn mains, you need a kind of broken-ish brawler to level out your trashness. Imugi does not require skill, okay? Next up, we got Ezio, or man, is that racially motivated? Isaiah. Isaiah, you probably trying to prove something to somebody. You're probably sitting there like, oh my gosh, I main Isaiah unlike anybody else. Like nobody touches Isaiah. Everybody thinks he's trash, but me, I main him and I'm good with him. When in reality, you kind of was a little bit of a spammer back in the day. You spamming on the cannon because you didn't really know how to use cannon. You didn't really know how to use blasters either. You were just trying to use Isaiah because you wanted to prove that you were special. You wanted to prove that you were going to main a brawler that nobody else really liked. And you actually became good with them. Now we got Jaeyun. Jaeyun mains used to be the craziest great sword mains before you really start looking into Magyars and Arcadias and them. Everybody thinks that Jaeyun is going to be like insane. Like when you go up against the Jaeyun, they're going to be crazy with great sword, but they kind of always almost always kind of suck with the sword. I'm not going to lie. They I don't really get scared of Jaeyun with their sword because the sword is insane. Next up, we got Jhala. Now Jalas with the axe are terrifying sights to behold. Like people think that Eteros or Imugi is the craziest axe legend, but Jhala is low-key up there, bro. Like her axe signatures are just brutal. Like her neutral on her axe isn't like Teros level, but it happens so suddenly. You're in there and you're dead pretty quick. Next up, we got Jiro. Jiro mains love their neutral sigs. That's really it. They love hitting their neutral sigs in every possible situation. Even if she over there in the air, they gonna be sitting here using their neutral signatures on their sword too. It's not just the sight, it's the sword too. They do this one more often actually because it hits grounded. That's Jiro mains for you. Next up, we got Kaya mains. You probably sick of being called an Apollo wannabe, and you probably been maining Kaya for a long time, and you just decent at the game. You pretty average at the game. You chill. You probably do this pretty often. Yeah, that's Kaya mains for you. Next up, we got Koji. Koji mains have insane accuracy with the bow. They're insane sword players, pretty average sword players, but when they use their bow, they always seem to hit these signatures. I always miss them, but when they use them, they always hit them, like no matter what. Like it's kind of insane. Next up, we got Core. Now Core mains, let me get the gauntlets. Core mains, despite how they look, actually I feel like are the craziest gauntlets users ever. Like they love throwing their opponents off stage with their gauntlets. I feel like his gauntlet sigs are kind of just nuts because they love just going off stage and throwing people into the abyss with that sig. Next up, we got Lin Fei. Lin Fei mains were Onyx mains that picked up guitars. I'm not gonna lie, or they were like they like canon and they just pick up guitar. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really see too many Lin Fei mains. They do shockingly actually exist. And they're probably crazy at the game because nobody really mains Lin Fei, and if you do, you definitely know what you're doing. Next up, we got Loki. Everybody hates Loki mains. You're either trash or you abuse him too perfectly. The thing about Loki, probably you're sitting there like, oh, he was nerfed. He was released broken, so there's not much you can actually do to fix his brokenness. He was just released broken, and you can only nerf somebody so much before it's just like, wow, you're really trying to put this dude in the ground. So they can't even nerf him anymore. His size signatures on his weapons are just nuts. It's just a fact. Next up, we got Lucien. If you made Lucien, you probably prefer his signatures on guitars as preferred to the blasters. I personally like his neutral on his guitars a lot more than anything on his blasters. I actually hate his blasters. I just hate blasters in general. I kind of just suck with blasters. But yeah, that's Lucien. Next up, we got Magyar. Magyar mains are the craziest. Like, Magyar mains are on the come up, bro. They be insane at the game every single time. Like, a bad Magyar main does not exist. And they never die either. It's like they're always gonna be there, and they gonna pick up. You probably gonna be like, oh, he lost his greatsword, but he's crazy with hammer too. Like, this dude is secretly broken. Y'all understand how broken hammer and greatsword are? Y'all be calling this dude trash? Like, it's unbelievable. Magyar is broken. Now we got Mako. Honestly, I don't see too many Mako mains, so I'm gonna go ahead and declare her, yes, her, as the worst greatsword legend I've seen. Like, she's not a bad legend at all. I just feel like the people that use her are all kind of just spammers, and they just kind of suck at the game, and they just be trying to spam their way to victory. They don't actually really know how to use the weapons that well. That's just for Mako mains. Now, Mirage mains, you're definitely a boring, like, you try and be a sweat. I personally don't see how you can main Mirage and get Mirage to level 100, given how underwhelming of a character she is. Like, she just seems so incredibly boring. You're good at the game for sure, or at least you think you are, but you're just a sweat. You're a boring person. You just go with whatever you think works. Now, Mordex mains, you're probably sick of being called a follower, but you are a follower. Like, there's no way out of every single legend in the game you decide to use the most popular one. Come on, bro. Come on. You're a follower. That's just how it is, man. Mordex mains, they followers. Next up, we got Munin. Oh my gosh. If you main Munin, you're probably crazy at the game, because who in the world uses Munin, bro? Like, if you have the temperament to listen to this over and over, like, are we going to ignore that she sucks at playing music? Who wants to listen to this? She's horrible at playing music. So if you can listen to this over and over again and actually main Mirage, you're insane at the game. You're an insane human being. Next up, we got Queen Nai. I'm just gonna go ahead and just give you a representation of what Queen Nai mains are. This is all Queen Nai mains do, ever. That's just all Queen Nai mains are ever gonna do. And it's never gonna change. That's all Queen Nai mains are. That's all I'll ever give them. Now, Nyx mains, y'all might be thinking, oh, they're sweaty. They're just scythe mains like Mordex and Mirage, but nah, they be crazy with the blasters, bro. They be popping off with the blasters, and whenever you go off stage, they gonna be trying to hit you. They gonna be trying to hit you with the gravity canceled neutral like this. This is what their favorite thing to do is. They always be trying to do that. Next up, we got Onyx. Now, Onyx mains do not care about their gauntlets. I'm not even gonna lie. They do not care about their gauntlets. What they care about is they cannon, bro. These be the craziest cannon mains out of any other legend in the game. They be insane with the cannon, bro. Insane with the cannon. Unfortunately, Orions, you're gonna be called spammers again, man. I know you might not be spammers anymore, but using this over and over again, that's spamming. Now, y'all might be thinking, oh, I'm not a spammer like this. I don't use this over and over again. Bro, you're still a spammer, bro. You use the neutral on the spear every chance you get. Like, I know, like, y'all not slick, bro. Y'all not sweet. I know what y'all doing, bro. Petra mains are just golds, bro. I don't really see too many Petra mains that are like insane at the game. They all kind of just play like golds. I'm never really like, oh my gosh, Petra, shivering in my boots. Like, Petra mains just play like golds all the time. That's just the truth. Next up, we got Ragnir. Ragnir mains are always kind of crazy. They kind of ignore their acts a little bit, I feel, and they're kind of just it's the most insane Qatar users ever, because they can be. They all know how to do the infinite combo, which I never had the patience of learning how to do. Like I never figure out how to do that. If y'all want to show me, cool. I'm not really gonna care. But next up we got Rayman. Rayman mains love their D6 on both of their weapons. They use these in every opportunity. They use these before side 6 in every opportunity. They're always going to use their D6 on their weapons. And if you decide to go off stage, you can expect the Rayman they'll do that too if you're like over there, but they love doing this especially. Yeah, that's Rayman for you. Next up we got Red Raptor, the ultimate spamming legend. They spam all the time. It's a stereotype. You're probably getting sick of being called a spammer, but blame other Red Raptor mains if you're not a spammer and you main him, because Red Raptor mains, they spam all the time. I always see them spamming. It's just sad. It's a sad sight to see. Next up we got Reno. Reno mains probably think that Reno is like nobody plays him, but you gotta understand that nobody really wants to play orb and blasters. Like, you know how rare it is that somebody likes both of those weapons? I hate them both, so I'm never really gonna play Reno. But his signatures are pretty good, so I feel like most Reno mains kind of take advantage of that. But if you main in Reno, like for real, like there gotta be another legend you like more, bro. There's no way you actually like him the most. I can't stand blasters and orb. That's just me though, so I can't really speak for everyone. Next up we got Sir Roland. If you main Sir Roland, you definitely love his neutral on his lance more than anything else, because that shit is kind of insane. I'm not even gonna lie. It like lingers in the air. Next up we got Scarlet. Scarlet mains are always crazy at the game, despite her being like a starter legend. Like, people that main Scarlet are always nuts. They crazy with hammer, they crazy with lance, they hit everything. They're nuts at the game all the time. Next up we got Sentinel mains. I'm surprised y'all exist, if I'm being honest. Like, Sentinel is a cool legend, but he takes actual skill to use. So y'all exist, y'all are good at the game, but you're not a bot at all. Like, I don't see no losers, no spammers really using Sentinel, because you can't spam with Sentinel. Like, you're gonna get punished bad if you try and spam with him. Next up we got Seven. I don't know why I don't have weapon skins on her. I must have messed up there, but if you made Seven, I don't know, man. You like Cannon. You probably made like Onyx or Lin Fei or something, and you just hopped on her and just kind of never got off. Although you do occasionally hop back to your actual main. So if you made Seven, you don't actually make Seven. Simple. Next up we got Sidra. Sidra mains are crazy with Cannon, sure, but what their favorite thing to do is go off stage and try and hit the most crazy clips with this little sig on the anchor. Like, they love doing that, man. No matter what situation you win off stage, they gonna try and hit you with that somehow. Next up we got Taros mains. You already know the drill, bro. They love the neutral on their axe. Like, this just is insane, bro. Like, I got Taros to level 25 just by abusing that signature alone. And I don't know if I contributed to the hatred that Taros mains have been received. But he's definitely insane. His signatures on his hammer are definitely a lot less broken than the signatures on the axe. They're a lot less devastating as well. Next up we got Tesca mains. Now these are the battle boots sweats. I personally don't really like battle boots that much, but the battle boot sweats, this is where you're gonna find them. You're gonna find them on Tesca. These are like the new Mordex mains, really. Next up we got Thatch. Got the wrong weapon. Whenever somebody go off stage, this is what you gonna do. It's cheese, bro. And y'all be emoting on people after y'all kill them with it like y'all good, bro. Like, y'all don't even be good. Y'all just be spammers. Next up we got Thea. Now these are kind of like Tesca mains, but they're a little bit worse than Tesca mains due to the fact that they use Lance, and I feel like Lance is a bit more cheese than Gauntlets. But yeah, if you main Thea, you're a slightly worse Tesca main. You probably mained like Artemis or something before. Next up we got Thor. Thor is actually on the come up because usually I really wasn't even worried about Thor mains for their hammer skills, but they starting to get better with Orb, and it's starting to like really get on my nerves because some of these signatures, if used properly, can just be devastating, bro. Not gonna lie. Ogrim mains, bro, y'all not getting away from nobody, bro. I understand that you're not good at the game. Ogrim is a cheese. He has axe and lance. Like, I don't know how y'all just ignored this dude having axe and lance for so long, but he's absolutely insane. Axe and lance is an insane weapon combination. Like, y'all complaining about Teros, like at least hammer requires some amount of brain power. This dude's using axe and lance, and y'all just act like he's just a completely okay brawler. Y'all ignore him completely. Y'all never talk about him. Like, bro, Ogrim is not safe from criticism. Next up, we got Vol. I feel like this is the person that you just like, you might like play like random 2v2s or something. You might just get a Vol and they're just gonna play like completely horrible. I don't really see Vol mains being too good at the game. I feel like Vol mains kind of just sucky, you feel me? Maybe that's just me, but Vol mains, they think they good, but they really just kind of just be little spammer noobs, and they kind of suck. I'm not gonna lie. Next up, we got Vector. Vector mains are Vector. I respect Vector mains, bro, because I use Vector a lot, and I like Vector, man. So I feel like Vector mains are insane at the game. They're great people. They don't use, like, if you use like a brawler that's underrated that nobody really uses, I respect you more than like a Mordex main, bro. Because you're not using the cheese brawler. You're not using somebody that everybody and their mom uses. You actually got good with a brawler that nobody even knows exists. So if you main Vector, hats off to you, man. And this drip that I got on for Vector is absolutely insane. Like, I don't think nobody in the world got better Vector drip than me. Next up, we got Vivi. Vivi mains aren't actually Vivi mains. They just made somebody else and they hopped on Vivi. I really can say that with any of the new brawlers, because there's no way you actually made Vivi, bro. Like, she's got to be the least seen new brawler out of like all of the new brawlers, because I feel like she requires the most amount of skill. So they definitely be good at the game, but I feel like you're not actually a Vivi main. You feel me? Next up, we got Volkov. Y'all don't really know how to use Sight that well, so y'all just stick to Axe, and y'all are crazy with Axe. That's really it. Next up, we got Lord Brax. Lord Brax mains, how do I say this? They kind of booty with Blasters, like how I was just there. And they I feel like they're much better with the Lance than they are with Blasters. Maybe that's just me, because I hate Blasters again. But I feel like Lord Brax mains crazy with the Lance more, and they just abuse the high decks, and they just always kind of spam his big signatures. They're not really too good at the game as players. Next up, we got Wushang. Not gonna lie, Wushang is pretty annoying to go against, because Wushang mains are very rarely horrible at the game. They're not ever insane. They kind of just, I feel like Wushang mains be getting lucky with every signature. Is that just me? Like, every signature I hit, I feel like they get lucky with it. Maybe I'm just salty, but I feel like he just looks like he's not really trying, I guess. I don't know what it is. Next up, we got Zol. You're a horrible person. Not even gonna lie. Yeah, you're a bad person. You like getting the job done nice and quick. So you use somebody with you use the 10 attack. You get the work done nice and quick. You use the axe, you chop them up, and you kill them with 3 signatures, bro. You're a bad person. So we got Yumiko. Yumiko mains, you previously thought her hammer was trash, and then you realized that her hammer is actually her specialty. You used to spam with her bow, you used to spam the side sig on her bow. You were just sitting there like doing this, you would do this, and then you would do this after. But then you realize that her hammer, her neutral on her hammer is actually insane. Doing them little flames and then hitting somebody, like it's a combo starter. And having those as a signature is kind of insane. And you understand that now. Next up, we got Zerial, approaching the end here. Zerial mains always spam. I feel like they spam a bit too much. I feel like Zerial does require a bit of skill to use, but they definitely spam. Gauntlets and bow is kind of a brain dead weapon combination that doesn't require too much brain power to use, nor does his signatures. So I feel like y'all definitely be spammers. Last but certainly not least, we have King Zuba. Well, he's not last. There's one more. If you main King Zuba, you probably prefer his hammer more than his blasters or his boots. I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like his boots all that much. Just because his signatures, they seem so like, might call me trash for saying this, but they seem kind of tiny. And you actually got to know what you're doing. And as somebody that's garbage at the game, that doesn't like knowing what they're doing, I like big stupid signatures that require little to no skill to use. So his neutral is perfectly, it's nice and quick, it's easy to get out of, it's hard to punish. That's what I like. I don't like having to get punished by stuff. You feel me? So if you main King Zuba, that's you. Now if you main random, he's not gonna be in here, but if you main random like me, you have a hard time sticking to one brawler. So you gotta just use everybody. I can't stick to one brawler, man. I gotta be able to just switch it up, because this game, each character only has 6 unique signatures. So how am I supposed to have fun? They only got 6 unique signatures, bro. So I gotta use random so I can like use everybody at the same time, because I'm gonna get bored very fast, because this game is honestly not that good to the point where I'm gonna main the same person for years. Like, come on, bro. But yeah, if y'all enjoy, let me know what y'all think of the drip. Let me know if y'all want to see more Brawlhalla, more videos overall.